Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome back to Raw with the Loveladies.
I gotta put my hoodie on because it's just a little bit chilly outside tonight. Since my wife won't share a blanket with me.
You never asked.
Use
your words, sir.
Communication's a key part of having a happy marriage.
I see what you did there. Wow.
That was a smooth transition, if I must say so myself.
I was actually pretty impressed. Right when you said that, I was like, I know exactly where he's going with this.
So I want to talk tonight a little bit about our first year of marriage and why it sucked. It was great. Don't get me wrong.
Love each other.
If it wasn't for how much love we had for each other, it never would have been worth it.
We would have been divorced so fast.
Yeah. So just in the spirit of keeping it quick and keeping the episodes shorter, so that we can get more views and things like that. At least that's the goal. I just want to talk about the importance of communication. So Kelly,
where do you want to start?
So Kelly, what do you think was the hardest part about communicating with me in the beginning?
That's where I know it was me in the beginning. So that's where it's just like, it's not that you were hard to communicate with.
You still had to learn skills. You still had to learn to open up. You still had to learn all of those things. So in the spirit of getting people to
be comfortable to communicate in that aspect,
to have a comparable situation, they need to know what made it hard to talk with me.
To talk with you, I would just say, because I was raised with all females, and the only male influence I had was from a grandfather that lived with me for 4 years. But at that point, I was already a teenager and older. So I never knew how to communicate with males at all. And so the longer we've been married, he's told me since day one, he's like, I'm really simple. And it's just like, I just need these 3 things: consistency, that's it. Always told me exactly who he is, always told me exactly how to talk to him, all those different things. But I came from...
You heard it here first, man. Women don't listen to us. Continue.
Stop. That's not what it was at all. It's just more I came from a toxic female home where it was mind games and just we didn't have good communication at all. And so coming to someone who's telling me, I'm like, you mean you're telling me exactly what you want? And I'd never had that before. And so it was really hard for me because I'm just in my head, I'm jumping all through all these loops. I'm like, what do you actually mean? And then I was like, there's no way it can be this simple. But then I had all of my baggage that I had to unlearn and learn how to just, no, you can say exactly what you mean and someone will respect you, instead of, this is what I mean, but I can't say that straight out. So I have to move and maneuver whichever way to say that without saying that. So that way I don't hurt your feelings.
Anyways,
like that.
As I had to basically read a Ouija board in order to understand talking to her.
Literally.
A lot of our issues with our first year was very, very much surrounding by the topic of communication.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of times when I would share exactly what I felt, exactly how I felt. I would say it very bluntly. So sometimes I would say things, and a lot of times I would say things and Kelly would take it as, this is his only opinion on this moment, this particular item for the rest of time. And so he
told me exactly what he told me.
Well,
and so
obviously, hold on a second. I let you speak. Let me speak for a second. We're still learning communication skills, as you can tell.
Just put 2 cents and you can continue.
So what it is there's a lot of times when Kelly would be communicating that she was venting. or she would be communicating an issue or a dilemma that she had been going through. And me and how I think, and me naturally at my core, I'm a fixer. It's what I do for a living. I fix things. If something breaks, I fix it. If there's an issue that arises, I fix that issue. Whether it's communicating through our crew to have something fixed, or I'm on the crew working and fixing things, or we're even at home and we're working on a project, I still struggle sometimes communicating in that because I don't realize that Kelly doesn't know what she's doing on some of these manual labor driven projects that we're working on. Okay, going back to the first year of our marriage, there was a lot of times when she would come home and tell me about her dilemma. And her dilemma was actually a very, very simple fix. Very, very simple. She wasn't interested in fixing the problem. She was more interested in making me hear her complain about said problem. Not that the complaining or her sharing her feelings wasn't warranted or even desired or wanted on my part. What happened is she wouldn't change or fix the situation, and the situation would just compound and compound. And as it would compound, I would hear the story, and then I would hear the story with more, and then I'd hear the story with more. And then I would say, hey, if you fix XYZ, you won't have to deal with any of this anymore. The problem is because I was trying to fix it, and Kelly hadn't fully processed everything at that point, communicated it even in her own head.
I like to just talk it out and feel it, and he's like, let's just
and again, so what this comes down to is a simple thing, and we've gone to therapy and stuff too. We'll get to that later in another day, but essentially we have a word now that we use to make sure that the other person is going to take the time to listen,
to actually hear where it's like, hey, I'm trying to communicate.
And that's dialogue. Our word is dialogue. Hey, I need a dialogue. And that means the other person needs to shut up, they need to listen. And then when it is time for the other person to talk, they need to ask, hey, are you venting? Are you wanting me to help fix this? What is the need? What is my portion of the conversation? And where does that need to go to make this either stay where it's at, to lessen the emotions behind it by maybe feeding in some differing opinion, or just where we stand with that. And it comes down to a simple phrase called dialogue. And I know that is a trick that works for us. I have friends that use a number scale with their partners, where they come home from work and their significant other will be like, hey, how was your day? And they'll say, on a scale of 1 to 5, they'll say, today was a 3. It was okay. I'm feeling good. Like everything's okay. And then there's some times when they come home and they're like, today was a 1. I don't have a lot of energy. And so what they've done at the beginning of that is they've conversed and said, hey, I am not going to have a lot of energy to do the different things here at home that you're probably going to expect of me. So you're probably going to have to maybe do 80% of the work tonight, where I'm only going to probably be able to fulfill 20. But they've came home and they've used their method through numbers to communicate where they're at. And to me, that all goes back to one of the biggest issues with relationships is oftentimes there's just not proper communication.
Yeah, being clear, your wants, needs. I don't want to say expectations, but slightly. Just kind of.
I think communication can not necessarily remove expectations, but can
understand why someone would have it.
Can give you an understanding, a clear understanding of where that person's at. Because honestly, I've been dragging tired today, and I helped cook dinner.
Yeah.
I helped do some dishes. I helped wash a child's hair in the bath. But aside from that,
picked up from extracurricular
Yeah, I picked them up from or musical theater, whatever that was.
Yeah.
And, done a little things like that. So I contributed to the household environment tonight, but overall, I did not have a lot of energy to do the things that I needed to do tonight. The things that I wanted to do, things that I've been wanting to do all day. I just got to the point where I just hit a wall energy wise, and so I was just spending. I know I was just spending the energy that I had to do the things that I know were needed of me today. Now, mind you, the podcast is something that Kelly is really, really needing to be passionate about as of right now.
Yeah.
And she communicated that to me yesterday. And so, as a loving partner, I listened to my wife. I then surprised my wife by saying, "Hey, I've got a little energy. Do you want to go film tonight?"
Was not expecting it tonight at all either. I came in from work and cleaning up the house a little bit after kids and ready to wash my face and go to bed. And then he was just like, "Bam, you want to go film?" And I was like, "Get your ass up. Let's go." Talking dirty to me.
Oh, let's keep this communication going. You know what I'm saying? No, that's really just what I want to hit on tonight is there is a lot of power in being truthful and honest and sharing really your feelings and where you're at. Earlier tonight when I was cooking and stuff like that, I didn't have a lot of energy. But Kelly thought I was getting short with the kids and things like that. And it wasn't that I was getting short with the kids. It was just, I felt like we were being a little too soft on them tonight. But everyone has kind of been a little tired, and
everybody's been tired in our family.
Irritable because of that. And I wasn't even upset. It was just one of those things where she came out, she asked a question. I didn't get offended by the question. I just was like, no, I'm not upset. I just don't understand XYZ. So I communicated those things. She then hears me and goes, "Oh, well, here's the reason why XYZ happened from my point of view." And then at that point, I have the choice to either be an individual in a relationship or be a partner. And I chose to listen to her and then be her partner. And so that was the end of all of the miscommunication beforehand, or the false opinions.
The kind of tension you could feel in the household, like everybody was just like, you were thinking we were on edge, but then we're thinking like you were just having a hard time. And so just like kind of the button heads, instead of just came out, ask you a clear question to understand where you're at, so that way we can move forward as a team.
Yeah, 2 minutes and you can solve something from compounding into something more. So anyways, I don't have my phone's filming, so I don't know how long we've been going or anything. So
I would say about like 12 minutes.
We could get up and see. It is unfiltered, uncut, raw. So we should have been smart enough to look at a clock. Will you look at
13.
A clock? Oh,
I was 1 minute behind, but it's 8:52.
8:52. Okay, so we'll do a few more minutes. Okay, so going back to our first year and some of the struggles we had. The biggest things with communication, first off, to me, and I've talked a lot tonight, and I realize that, but
it's also, I'm so new at communication because like our first year, I didn't if we were in an argument or something, I would shut down to the point like my nervous system was so in fight or flight that when we would have an argument, I would literally just shut down where I physically could not speak. And so
I'd get so mad.
A lot of me learning how to communicate is also calming my nervous system, letting myself know that it's safe to talk. I'm finally in a relationship, in an environment where my voice can be heard, and that boundary or what I say, anything is going to be respected and heard and followed. And so that's where you have a lot more experience with it, because I feel like only in the past 2 years is when our communication has gotten way better. And it's I feel like the past 6 months of our relationship is when it's really taken off of actually being able to truly communicate with each other.
Well, on that note, you know, she talks about the last really like this last 6 months more in particular. Mind you, we've been together for like 9 years. And so extremely committed. I share my feelings. I tell her exactly where I'm at. We can get into more of the details as to why my needs were being met. And hers weren't so much. But a lot of it comes down to, but a lot of it comes down to is I had clear communication. So she knew if I check these boxes, he will be fine. And I can figure myself out over time.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of times where the communication from me was taking place. I think everything's going great because my needs are being met. I'm asking her questions. Hey, are you good? Is there anything I can do for you? Like, what do you want me to do to help out around the house or do any of these things? And we would go through this cycle of I would start doing everything around the house, and then my needs would kind of suffer from it. And I would be like, hey, I'm doing everything that you're asking. You know, why are we not, you know, doing this, or why are we not doing more of this? And, or why do I feel like we're sliding back downhill on what we've worked so hard to climb past? And a lot of it came from Kelly's nervous system giving her an inability to
not feeling
be
safe
forthcoming with who she is.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, we've done some couples therapy, and we're prioritizing each other a lot more. And so Kelly's been able to find her own voice, a voice that her nervous system lets her say things, lets her
actually speak for what I truly want, instead of I'm going to say what's the least thing that's going to burden you. And I'm like, you can do this for me. But instead I have like something else on the top of my list that if he could help take the pressure off of that, then it would just be like we could keep going on and communicate actual needs. But because of my people pleasing, I'm like, I don't ever want to do anything to like upset you or poke the bear or something, just all from my past.
And it's not even that like I have like this huge, I mean, there's a lot of people find me arrogant, and it's not that I'm arrogant. You can ask Kelly. I'm really not an arrogant person. I am very confident. And so sometimes my confidence comes off very, very arrogant. Like, now, don't get me wrong. I can have my moments where I'm like, I'm better than you at this, you know that. But I'm usually just kind of talking crap to people too, you know, in a situation. But overall, I don't really glamour or like try to reach recognition and receive public recognition. That's not really my thing. People can judge me by the deeds that I do. So on that, I sometimes come off as very arrogant. And in the beginning of our relationship, Kelly would feel that. She would feel that I was being arrogant, or I was being cocky, or I was being all these things. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, you literally have all of the control in our relationship. If you just tell me to jump, I'll say how high. Like, I just need you to tell me what you want so that I can help you. And really, it has, you know, she talks about the last 6 months. That part of it, I still feel like we're still learning over here.
Well, I didn't say I mastered it, but just from
the
like
understanding. But just the
like
understanding.
From 6 months ago, everything, like how much better our communication has got, like, and then still getting, like, we keep working and getting better and better. But it's more of like, from where I was to where I am now, you can appreciate those 6 months.
Oh, I do wholeheartedly. And honestly, it's a really empowering as a man to have a wife that can tell you what she wants, so you're not guessing. I'm going to make some statements here that might bother some people, but there's a lot of men who want to do right by their wives, but their wives are too scared to tell their husbands how they really feel, or their partners. And there's a lot of men who can't share how they really feel because their wives aren't ready to hear it. And I've actually said that to Kelly before.
Oh yeah, many times where you're like, I want to tell you these things, but you're not ready. But you'll straight up tell me that I'm not ready and things like that, where I feel like other people just don't say anything at all.
Yeah, so there's like sins of remission and sins of omission. I really feel like if you're passively going through your relationship and you're not talking about things, you're only slowly killing your relationship. And that's my opinion. And it's not written in stone or anything like that, like where it's a truth, but that's my experience. My experience is that in our relationship, when we've struggled, is when we haven't been forthcoming with information. You know, that to me is the real issue for Kyle and Kelly's relationship in the past, was just the inability to be forthcoming. Because as soon as you can be forthcoming and tell the other person really what's happening and feel safe to do so, your relationship.
A big part of it is feeling safe to do so.
But that's the thing, is like, if you want to feel safe, it's like you need to take the time to learn the other person's nervous system. You need to take the time to learn what the other person, I hate the word triggers, but learn what triggers them. Learn what makes them tick. You know, everyone has their little ticks and things that just drive them insane. I have a big one, and I don't know that I want to share it on the internet, but I'm going to, is I really don't like when people, like the little teeny pinches on the back of the arm. I hate that. I don't like the word hate, but I loathe that. Like, it will make me go from 0 to 100 really, really quick. And am I wrong?
No, I learned the hard way, because I just thought it was like funny jokes when we were first married, just being playful. And yeah, no, it ended real quick. I think after like the second or third time of you going full ginger rage and just like going down, I was like, okay.
Mind you, I didn't hurt her or do anything physical.
Nothing like that.
It was more or less like,
like, hey, turning into the Hulk.
Hey, let's not do that. Okay. I don't know what it is that your least favorite thing to have happen to you is, because you're not forthcoming, but whatever it is, this is my biggest pet peeve. This is my biggest thing. Don't do that to me. And the first time didn't take, obviously, because
I'm a slow learner.
She doesn't listen for very well.
I do now.
I got better. And so, I don't know. That's kind of just the little sentiment and things that I was thinking about tonight, was just communication and the importance of. And I would not be the man that I am today if I had not learned how to communicate with my wife. And communicating with my wife has actually helped me communicate with my kids, because I know better which emotions and stuff to really listen to and hear, and it actually allows me to feel some empathy. And you can ask Kelly, at the beginning of our relationship, I had none. If you didn't tell me exactly what you were feeling, I couldn't feel it.
Couldn't understand it. Yeah. But I think even though, like, me, like, learning how to communicate, like, and how it's helped our relationship, like, understanding you, it goes the exact same way of like me understanding our kids too, because like one kid thinks like me and the other one thinks like him, and so like, and those are like the kids that we would struggle with, like vice versa. And so understanding each other, how we work, and since we have little ones who think like us, we're actually better parents because of it as well.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I think we want to hit on tonight. And
good
so
place to stop.
In closing, try to do what you can to share your feelings. Give yourself a little bit of grace as you try to be forthcoming with information that can help your relationship. And on that same note, sometimes you're gonna say something and it's the truth, and the other person's not gonna take it the right way, and they could take it the wrong way. And at that point, I just want you to really evaluate where you're at in your relationship and do what is best for yourself. Don't do what's best for the relationship, because some relationships are unhealthy. And at the end of the day, I knew if I communicated better with Kelly that I would have more happiness. And today, making this podcast is living proof of that.
You're gonna make me cry. Getting all cute.
She said she'd put out if I did really good. I'm just kidding.
Well,
I communicated it though.
Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Share if any of this resonated with you, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks for watching.
Raw with the Love Ladies.